All right, it's 9:30-ish. Man Monday starts. Hey, producer.
Yeah.
How's my
Light?
how's my light? Hey, Italia is backwards. I guess I'm always backwards now, aren't I? Isn't there a way to un-backwards it? Not that it matters, but
Looks good.
I should punch my nose.
Yeah, you should just tap. See, it gives
Okay,
good
I should
speech
just
on.
tap that. Fantastic.
That's all you got.
My brother is watching Brian Duff in the house.
Oh, the Duffs are good boys.
We were just hanging out with him, and he is he actually gave me the subject this evening. He goes, "You should talk about why people change." Ken Walls, dude, and it's something that I do have in the book, and it is an interesting thing. It's one of the things that I find the most kind of fascinating. Nelson, welcome, Man Mondays. What is up? What is up, Man Monday people? So we're talking about sports and relationships and how I hope to help you get a great relationship. Greg, welcome, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, tonight's topic. Kevin Hayes, cousin. It's funny, it says wave on the thing. I think I'm supposed to poke that and have it wave. Thanks for sharing, Ken. Hey, you guys can share this. That'd be awesome. So the question is, why? Why do we change after the honeymoon? Or I guess, when does the honeymoon become over? Or why does the honeymoon become over? Anthony, thank you for joining. It's something that happens to, I think, everyone if you're not paying attention, and that's one of the recurring themes, I think, with these talks. If you've seen any others of mine, it's I really recommend paying attention. This is not your relationship is not something that you want to just coast through. Actually, I don't think life is really what you want to coast through. I think it's better to live and to be engaged with your life, but especially engaged with your relationship, with your girl. Hi, Kathy. And that is, I left all my noises on. Oh well. So, yeah, tonight. So, I was in Boston this weekend. I was staying with my brother, and we went up to see my mom. Another one of those micro trips that I make. This is, Mother's Day and all. And yeah, we were, my brother and I talk. Occasionally when we're drinking, we talk, and other times we talk. And he said, "I got an idea for your Man Mondays." I was like, "All right, bring it." So we started talking about this, and he gave his ideas, which I completely shot down because he was wrong. No, he's not wrong. My brother, by the way, I don't think most of you know him, Brian Duff. You can follow him. He's awesome. He's a wicked smart guy. And he is one of the most well-mannered people I know. And he actually, I have a whole section of my book written about manners. And these are easy things. This isn't like, fold your napkin in your neck kind of stuff. This is just like simple no-brainer stuff. But he's actually even better than I am. Interesting. I might have to steal some. I actually do give him a nod in the book for a couple of things that he does that I don't do or that I stopped doing. I'm actually not even sure if I ever did them. I'll give one to you right now. My brother never lets his girlfriend, his fiance now, never lets her open the door, the car door, which I find really cool. And when Denise and I are up there, I get in the car, and then Denise gets in the car. My brother actually walks over and opens her door too. I'm like, put me to shame, but in a good way. So let's talk about honeymoons. Not honey-do list. We talked about that in a different one, but honeymoons. And there are many reasons that I think this happens. That the honeymoon is over, and look at all those hearts for the honeymoon. Michael Carson, hey. Jeff Quiros, hey, all you guys. Who else is here? One of the things is I think we just get lazy. which is a drag. I have talked about that in other episodes, but yeah, I mean, we get comfortable, right? And when you get comfortable in a relationship, you get lazy and you sort of stop doing things that you were doing when you were trying to impress someone. And that's always the case, right? With your, you do the first couple dates, and it's like, ooh, I'm gonna show what an asshole I'm not. and then I don't know, we get in and we hook them, and then they're ours. When all truth be told, it's probably them that hooked us, but we'll take as much credit as we can. And then we sort of relax a little bit. We get lazy and we stop, we stop doing the things that we did when we were new, when we were fresh, when we were trying to impress them. I think it's a good idea to always try to impress your girl. It's sort of like you guys, for those of you who have played sports in school or at other places, when you do practice, when you have practices, oh, Kevin, charge your freaking battery, dude. What's up? When you have practice, some guys really go all out, and some guys, they dog it, right? And I can't say I've never been the guy who dogged it, but I will say most of the time I wasn't the guy who dogged it. Because I always thought, like, if you're practicing this thing, you're trying to get better at it. You're just not, like, killing time. So, like, to dog a drill or something like that never really made sense to me, or maybe not never, but it certainly doesn't now. So, especially as I aged, I continued to play soccer, and Dave Cuts. Anybody in the Temecula area needs an amazing dentist, go see my buddy Dave Cuts. So the guys, the guys that are on your team, and they're practicing sort of, but they're dogging it. They're slow, and they're not giving it their all, and that's the kind of team player that you don't really want on your team. I mean, if everybody was all in all the time, that would be genius, right? Because then going back to a couple of episodes ago, you would have certainty what your teammate is going to do. But if somebody's dogging it, they're just sort of doing it for whatever reason. I don't know, maybe a credit, something, I don't know. But and that's one of the ways that that the honeymoon stops for us. And again, I'll repeat this a lot. Hi, Lauren. I'll repeat this a lot. My stance on this whole relationship thing is we as guys can do the whole thing on our own. It's up to us. If we are on our game, the relationship will work. It will fly. It'll be awesome if we're on our game. And thank you for the thumbs up. You guys can share this if you want. That'd be awesome. Ken already did, I know that. But we get lazy. One of the things is we get lazy. The other thing is we actually, what happens, we get lazy, and then maybe we don't do the things that we feel like we should be doing, and then we get a little salty, maybe a little snarky. And maybe we start talking shit about our girl, when she's not around, to our friends to make us feel, I don't know, manly or some ridiculous thing like that. That's one of the things that will help you kill your honeymoon, or the honeymoon thing. Because all it does is it makes less of your teammate. That would be like when you're on a team, that would be like Tom Brady talking to someone else and going, Gronkowski really isn't all that. It's not something you do. And then if he kept doing that, suddenly he's going to not throw him the ball, or if he does, it's going to be like a little over his head, so that, oh, see, I told you, he's going to try to prove himself right. Guys, we just want to be right. So if you're talking shit about your girl, saying things that, maybe even things she does, but if you say them to your buds like you're trying to get all, check me out, how rad I am talking shit about my girl, that thing, it might even be like this really tiny thing that you're blowing up. Suddenly that thing is going to be really big because we want to be right. So that's another way that honeymoon can start to crash. I think one of the more common, I think probably the most common thing, and Denise and I talk about this a fair amount, are games. So when you get together, hi Sharon, Francisco, all you newcomers, very exciting to have you here. Games. When you are getting together, you know, you're newly together. It's like all exciting, and it's like the game is like learning about each other and getting together. And is it going to work? Is it going to fly? Do you really like each other? Do you like each other maybe to move in together? That's a game. That's something you can create together. Okay, next step, it's the engagement. And for guys, we're like figuring out how to do this. Rob Ehlers, awesome dude. We're figuring out how are we going to do this. We have stories. I had my engagement story. Guys, if you're not engaged yet, find a story, something that your girl can tell. My brother, they went to Key West. He and his girlfriend, and she was not expecting it in the least. And he just was like, "I'm going to pick the perfect time. It's going to be the perfect sunset. We're going to go out on this pier, and we're going to go, and I'm going to bend down and going to ask her." It's just like it's a story. I wrote a poem to Denise, and I had her read the poem out loud to me, and the very last line was, "And now to continue our perfect life, I'll ask you now to be my wife." And I had to have her read it out loud because I had to know when I could pull the ring out of my pocket. See, if I didn't know where she was reading, I wouldn't know where to pull it out. She cried. We were on a pier in Malibu. People thought I was hurting her, which is another part of the story. Speaking of Denise, my producer / wife is watching. Hello, Dia. Maurizio, good to see you. And yeah, that's the create, right? Now that's the game that you're playing. After that game, you have the wedding, right? So now it's the wedding, and it's the planning, and games are not always fun, guys. And there's conflict, and there's you're working things out, and you're working through stuff, and that's a game. And it's like you're in, but it's a creation. You're doing this thing together, right? So it's still all like, yeah, let's go. And Cousin Kelly. And so you're going, and then you get married, and it's like, wow, awesome. And then it's the honeymoon. So now you're doing this trip, and it's great, and it's awesome. And then you come back from the honeymoon, and now what? Honeymoon's over. But the honeymoon's over only then. Eric says my divorce was way better. Okay. I wished you'd been listening to these earlier. So the point is, usually what comes after the honeymoon are kids, right? So now the kids are a really long game that you're playing together. And then what happens? So you get older, now the kids are done. Like in all this time, I mean, the kids are a really long game, but it's something that you can generally at least, create together on. Sometimes it doesn't always work, sometimes it does. But the part of the creation is the thing that will keep the honeymoon going. It's doing things together, and it's not like let's plan a trip once a year for a vacation. That's not going to do it. I know way too many couples that's all they do. They go to Cancun for 2 weeks and drink the entire time, and that's their vacation. And then they back, and then they're talking shit about each other and all that stuff. And it's like that's not something that's going to keep the honeymoon going. The book I'm writing is called Happily Unsingle. Tomorrow night, by the way, you guys haven't got an email yet, but those of you who have answered my one-question survey will get an email probably even later tonight or first thing in the morning about what to do tomorrow night. Tomorrow night at 9:30, I start the first section of my masterclass, which goes deeply into the draft and the winning mindset, and I'll dip into what makes a great team. So lots of sports analogies, lots of quotes, lots of sports quotes, lots of examples of what Denise and I have done and how I've screwed up and have worked it out. So that's tomorrow night. So those of you who have already answered my question, that you guys will be getting an email. You'll get free access to that masterclass. It'll be awesome. If you haven't yet, you can still. I'm fine right up until tomorrow. I'll figure out how to get you access. But one of the questions that I got most on this survey was how to keep the fire alive, and this is part of it. This is one of the ways that Denise and I keep the fire alive, is we keep creating things together. We are literally working on a video edit together, and trust me, it's not always fun. You know, you get strong personalities together. Denise and I, we both have very strong opinions on certain things. We like the way we're very artistic. We have opinions, and that doesn't always meet. But as long as you know what you're doing, it's really her video, and I'm just kind of pitching in to edit. For those of you who were with my with me last week and heard the fight that Denise and I had, it was over this video. So we got through that. We're in the editing. We took the train up to Boston and we edited on the way up and on the way back. It was like a nice, 10, almost 11 hours of editing, which was great. But we're not done because editing takes a long time. But you just need to figure out what's important. What battles you want to fight, and really what's the big picture, right? But if you're if you're looking at my brother was talking about goals, and I talk about games and the creation. He talks about goals, having goals, and it's a similar way to look at the same thing. Okay, I'm going to take a pause here. Aris, Maria, hey, who else joined? Eric, I didn't see you join, but I saw your comment. My cousin Kelly. Thanks, guys, for coming. Michael Duff, for those of you who missed the very beginning of this. And this is Man Mondays. We do this every Monday night at 9:30. And I love doing this. It's super fun. And hopefully I'm giving you guys some value and some tips and some cool stuff that will help and make you a better teammate, because that's really what it boils down to. And of course, one of the big questions when you're getting to the point where the honeymoon is over, then it starts becoming, sometimes it becomes this little finger pointing, like, well, they changed. No, they changed. Well, hopefully you both changed. If you both didn't change from when you first got together to, however further on down the line, something is really wrong. Hopefully you're both changing. Ultimately, hopefully you're both changing for the better as well. And but change is inevitable. We all change. Our bodies change. Our moods change. Our girls' cycles change. Leo, dude. Okay, so locker room joke there from Eric. So Eric to Ken. So what the hell was I talking about? So the change bit. We all change as we get older. Our bodies change. I hate to say it, things start hurting. It changes your mindset. Okay, so I'd like to know briefly how you did for Mother's Day. I did pretty good with all my play calls. Well, this is an interesting point, and this is something that there are many ways that I think I hit the lottery with my wife. This video that we're working on is kind of her Mother's Day. It's something that needs to get done. It's something that, we did the flowers thing and we went away for the weekend, which was kind of cool. It was, a little bit of duty because we were going to see my mom. And, it was a trip away, a micro trip away. There are always micro trips when I go to Boston, but it was good. Mother's Day is cool. the thing that I actually try to do for better or worse is I try not to have the peaks when a holiday comes. Like, you know, that kind of thing is just like not my gig. You know, I really do try to keep it lively all the time. I mean, I buy her flowers a lot. I do things, Mother's Day-ish kind of things, although I didn't do the stuff like I did for Valentine's Day. It was Valentine's Day? Producer, are you hearing me? Was it Valentine's Day that I did closet? Yeah, it was Valentine's Day. Call from the other room. So yeah, I don't know. If I was to get graded on Mother's Day, I probably didn't do as well as, I probably didn't do as well as I could have. Good to know, good note. But, and here's a team member, she didn't hang me for it. I don't know if that's good or bad. Denise, was that bad? She said it was a perfect weekend. Guys, there you have it. We got snacks and stuff. It was actually really fun. So there you go. I'll try to keep the moment going. Yeah, it's really like, you know, if I always circle it back to the team, man. If you have, if you say you're the wide receiver, right, and you're only catching a ball every third game, and yet you're getting 4 or 5 balls thrown to you every week, guess what? You're not doing your job. You need to catch a lot of balls. You need to keep that up there. You know, you can't just go nothing, bing, you know, game-winning catch. Nothing, bing, game-winning catch. You know, you do that, you end up like Des Bryant, kids. Great player, too few plays. Some amazing plays. Is he even on a team now? Has he found a home yet? It's just like that. You need to be more like Antonio Brown. You need to catch everything that's thrown your way. And, you know, use that as a metaphor, guys, too. You know, your girl's throwing you things all the time. Catch them. Listen, look. Make sure you're paying attention. And I got calls coming in. You have a cat? Dude, that's a good start, man. Catch more balls, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Eric. I mean, I've always looked at our relationship in relation to sports because I grew up playing sports. Sports are it for me, right? I love it. Hey, Michael, thanks for joining. And I think if we as guys looked at our relationship more like a sports team, as silly as it sounds, I think would actually do a lot better. It's all about the team. It's all about pulling your weight in your position. It's all about knowing your position, right? If you don't know what your position is, how are you going to do your job? Yes, I'm from New England, and I said do your job. Whatever. Yeah, Des Bryant's lost in the shuffle, and he's lost in the shuffle only because he's not the team player. He's a tough guy to have on a team. He's got, you know, he's an amazing player, but he's an amazing player. Again, I'll do the graph thing again. He's an amazing player every once in a while, you know, just every once in a while. And you can't do that when you want to perform at the top level. And really, we have a life that we should always be living at the top level. Steelers is out of my league team, Eric. Eric and Ken, you guys are going to have to thumb wrestle this later. Eric, where are you from anyway? I have to ask this. I'm singling Eric out. Anyway, while there's a lag. So getting back to the change, hopefully both of you guys are changing, you and your girl, and hopefully both of you are changing to the better, you know, for the better. It doesn't always happen. I understand. Sometimes we don't do a damn thing, and our girl is, kicking butt, and that's not good either. Cousin Mary, I have a lot of family on here tonight. Righteous. When there's an imbalance, you know, it's guess what? It's imbalanced. I am Captain Obvious. So hopefully you're both growing. It's just a matter of being able to see where your growth is and see what the change is. Okay, so Eric's from Hawaii but lives in California. Oh, in the Bay Area. Okay, well, you guys got Jimmy Garoppolo from us, which is, you're welcome. He's a madman, and you guys are going to be kicking some ass. You're moving in with Ken in Ohio, which you're probably going to end up a Steelers fan, and that's okay too. Again, tomorrow night, the master class starts. And it is going to be a Facebook Live on the private Facebook group that I have. It's going to be a lot of information, a lot of it from the book, and there's a progression. So I'm going to start with the draft, which is something that most of you guys are already through, and that's awesome. But I will say that there are things that I found that we can still learn from, even if we're already on a team. Eric and Ken, you guys need to get a room. So the other one is the winning mindset. You know, there is a mindset to being in a relationship, guys, and being on a team and wanting to win. And I had heard not too long ago the culture in Cleveland for the Browns. Some of the guys who were there were like, "Oh, this is where you come to retire." And it's like, what are you talking about? This is where you come to like become anonymous. I was like, what a crap viewpoint. You know, those guys were they had the mindset that they weren't going to win. And the coach that came in had, was having to root those guys out and pull them out and get a bunch of young guys in there. I actually think they're going to do something this year, which is really cool. They have a lot of talent. We'll see if Baker Mayfield works out. I was surprised, as I usually am with Cleveland's picks, but maybe you can only make the wrong picks for so long, and then something good has to happen. I don't know. I'm sort of hoping for Cleveland's sake. Anyway, speaking of Cleveland and Boston, are they playing game 2 tonight? Is that tonight? I lost track. Hey Jill, thanks for joining. All you guys who have joined. Didi O'Malley's in the house. Camellia, hey. So if you don't know, I'm writing a book. I'm actually doing some stuff. Because I want to help, and I want as many people as possible to have. Didi, good to see you too. I can't see you, but it's good to see your icon. Anyway, I want to give you guys value, and I want to I want to help. So I hope I'm doing that. I hope you guys are getting something out of this. I really love doing these. Tomorrow night, masterclass starts. So the Happily Unsingle Masterclass. It's basically called How to Have a Happy Relationship Without Giving Up Being a Man. So you can absolutely keep your man card and have a great relationship. It's actually wicked easy. So thanks, Ken. Thank you very much. So if you haven't gone to happyunsingle.com, I would love you to go and answer that one question survey. I'll probably leave it up for a while, even after the masterclass starts, just because I really always want to know what people want in this area. What are your questions? What do you, like if there's one question that you had, like, how do I blah? There's been some amazing questions. But as I said, a lot of them have fallen under the how do I keep the fire alive? And all of the stuff that I'm going to be covering is basically going to be supporting that general theme, because when you're happy, the fire is lit, and that's part of the game, keeping the fire lit. So thanks very much, guys. I totally super appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me on Monday nights. I really do. I look forward to it. Starting like Tuesday. So tomorrow, I'll start looking forward to Monday, next Monday. So those of you who have answered the survey. I'll see you tomorrow night. And for everybody else, I'll see you next Monday. Thanks for joining. This is Michael Duff, happily unsingle. See you next week.